how's it going? Let's have some fun with this. Always gotta have fun with this, especially if it's a message for this whole situation that's happening here. It's kind of like more of a kind of being blunt in the sense where to those elites, it's time to give up and to let go. It's just time to let go. Okay? Things are getting noticed. Well, a lot. The dots are getting connected. It's checkmate in 3 moves. It's practically been like that for a while. It's just reaching a crescendo. Okay? With the protests and everything that's happening. So it's about time to let go. Now, why do I want to bring this? It's mostly because your selective group never really got an understanding of what humanity was, of what being human is, of what the human potential is. You know, your hubris kind of kept this destabilizing one section, destabilizing another country, forcing a money system that would fuck over certain countries and not others, or would fuck over just creating an aspect of class. But in all that, Machiavellian idea, you kind of forgot the real potential of this species, this continuous cooperation and creation going on its logical crescendo. You know, ever since the internet kind of happened, it facilitated that development. Would have expected you guys to see the signs, being all that high and mighty, but you didn't. Then more and more information got revealed about what was happening in the background. Ever since way before, around the 2000s, 2012. And you still didn't see the writing on the walls. You know, all the leaks, the documents being found, all of that. You guys still didn't see the writings on the wall. And you kind of just double down now with this aspect of just trying to separate pro-mask, anti-mask, pro-vax, more division. You just try to get more division. But it's about time to kind of realize the game is up. The gig is up. And it is illogical to keep people in separation at this point when it comes to understanding where you want to bring this species. If you want to bring humanity to another crescendo, to one heck of a high point, okay, it was never by doing division or this power play. We are reaching a point, and practically just on a majority, where we understand that the only thing that's kind of keeping us divided, aside from the manipulation that you're doing, is this ancient idea that we were different because of words, terminologies that we were given after birth, but we weren't born that way. So there's a collective understanding that's building up on that end. And more people are starting to understand, okay, well, I just don't need to stick to box A or box B because there was never any kind of boxes. Those are just terminologies. Again, constructs, whatever fucking terms you want to give that. So not to stick too much into it. So it is kind of illogical to be divided when you understand that, oh, right, it's only words and blah, 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 blah. At the end of the day, we're all the same in the aspect of our unique individuality and the process that we start with nothing and then we just expand continuously by cooperating with one another. There is no division. There is no competition. Because that would be completely forgetting that before you got to competition, the cooperation you had was reading, informing yourself that was someone else's creation. So someone else's creation passes through you, and then you make a creation. That's cooperation. Ain't no competition. Again, when you get to the logical depth of a definition, you start understanding, oh, wow, yeah. So there's no point in keeping this whole aspect of division. Absolutely no point. And what you guys are doing with this aspect of, again, Machiavellically reducing people's immunity system with the little soap every store, and then the lack of breeding, because you knew a lot of people didn't even study neurology. Of course, they wouldn't tell you that. That, again, it's about to end that. You know, I pretty sure you guys don't believe in the concept of hell, but if you are at least in a bit of a scientifical studies or the occult, well, you know that your soul's gonna pass through a moment, either beyond after death or even, you know, in a coma. The near-death experiences. Your soul's gonna pass through that life revision, whether you want it or not, and it ain't gonna be like Souls. It ain't gonna be washy-washy like what the Disney movie made you feel. Of course not. You know the full depth of what you're gonna experience. You're gonna experience everything that you have triggered in another. Every sadness, every depression, every suicidal thought created by your actions. You didn't pull the trigger, but you ordered the actions to be made. You're still gonna feel that. I know you guys study in the occult and the whole ritualistic aspect of things, but I'm pretty sure you knew there was a price to that. Whenever you step over someone to get something, there is a price. You guys are still working with that quantum law, the holy law, whatever you want to call it. It's all coming down to roost. So you guys knew you were fucking with that. And you were so enamored with this idea of physical plane power, this power over people, this monetary aspect, which is, again, insanity, because then you're putting the thing that the species created on top of the species and then calling yourself superior. It makes no sense. It's illogical. You just never took the time to see it. You're no different than anyone else. We're all born in certain families that lead us to certain patterns of thinking, exactly like you guys with the whole superiority aspect. But there comes a point where you have to check that training and see, is it fucking my life? Is it fucking with the lives of others by proxy? You know, there's a question point that needs to be held at one point in one's life. When the patterns kind of bring a mountain of shit, instead of doubling down, you just kind of have to question. Because, again, it all makes logical sense after a while, but if you don't necessarily question your own patterns and you just keep rolling with that initial programming, shit hits the fan after a while. So, it's about time to end this game. Meaning, you gotta let the people go. You can either go all the way till you have your own death in the bunker. Could happen. You're still going to go through that midlife, or not midlife, geez. You're still going to go through that post-death experience and you're going to feel a lot of shit. Or you can have your stay in Guantanamo, heal that shit, and have less of a crappy experience post-death. Because it's not a thing about just righteously killing you. No, that's movie pattern. That's fiction pattern. That, again, wouldn't necessarily leave you could say, a good example. Because that would then be ignoring your indoctrination, which led you to this point. Again, there's no animosity at this turn, what is being brought out. It's just, you've got a choice. Death in the bunker, or you can get that healing process at the Guantanamo stay for how long they'll give you. And you don't necessarily have that much choice. Are you going to help facilitate this evolution aspect? That could be another choice. Yet, the whole division thing, looking at the momentum of information being shared, discovered, people getting to realize this unity understanding, Checkmate's already seen. It's inevitable. It's been known as an inevitability for a while. So, it's about time to let go. Again, your whole movement, your whole pattern, the way you've been dividing people, especially in this day and age, it's illogical. I don't know what you guys had in mind, guys and gals had in mind, in this aspect of population control and then neurolinguistic programming through media. I can only fathom to understand a bit of a thrill out of that superficial aspect of control, you know? Because even with the bots, the data collection, all that algorithm crap and the data collecting, you don't know what a human being is. You don't even necessarily understand how fast your information processing is and how fast your evolution is at its logical extent. So, again, you guys were just playing for this aspect of money, but you guys did not have the species' well-being as an objective, which inevitably was going to happen on its own. You just kind of slowed down the process for a number amount of years and tried your best with those digital devices. You tried your awful best. You get a for effort, I guess, at this point. You know, we kind of have to play this tongue-in-cheek because fuck it, right? What's the point of getting angry at this point? So, again, let go. Let the people go. Stop the division. Stop trying to double down on it. You're only going to feel more of what you're doubling down on later on. You're just making it worse for later on. And space ain't going to help you because you're still going through the same process after death. So, it's either that or you can let the results of the division take you down as well. Because you'll know that there's certain people that will be out for blood upon understanding all this and will actively hunt you down. Sucks. It does. But that's imbalance. Repeated over a cycle programmed from the movies. Bad guy has to be killed, right? They gotta get their comeuppance. A lot of people still run that programming. Should have done some changes early on, right? But this is the inevitable. So you've got choice. Yet unity is inevitable. You get to choose how you're going to transition from this phase to that point. Again, you do have the choice of the death in the bunker, but you're still going to experience those fucking experiences. You can go YOLO and try to bring it all the way to the end. But the more you add onto this, the more questions are asked, and the more people start to get an understanding of what's happening. So you're just kind of like bring the inevitable quicker, you know? And whoever's been part of those collusion, you know, whoever's been part of this kind of, I guess, collaboration, league of elitism, they're just gonna be swept along with you guys. It's an inevitability. If this ain't some mincing for words, this is just perceiving the logical extent of what's happening from multiple perspectives. So, gots to stop. That's it. That's all. And hey, you're literally gonna enjoy stepping away from this whole material possession type of deal, because honestly, you won't need to do the ritualistic thing that will just have you bite yourself back over and over and over. Again, learn a bit of the quantum law and play with the metaphysical shit without getting into the occult darkness, and you're gonna see it's a whole different deal. You never needed those 15 Lamborghinis and those resorts. You never did. And if you do, you know, for the resorts, it's a whole different thing. It's to give that pleasure to other people. To have other people enjoy and raise their mood, raise their states. Oh man, did that make you puke? Oh, making other people feel better. Oh, really? Man, you're going to have a lot of work to work on. I get it. It's in the programming. Again, you do have that. You do have a window of time where you can just take those options into consideration and start taking some steps. Yet, time is ticking. Time. The clock is ticking. Time is coming. It's an inevitability. So, this is just, again, another little reminder that you've got choice, just like every one of us, once you understand what choice is and the multiplicity of it that you've got. But, inevitably, unity. Have a good one. And frankly, Here's hoping that you make the right choice, which is always unity, for fuck's sake. It's never been division. There's never been any point to it. Again, high and mighty superiority, but still living in the whole Victorian era type of mindset. So, and it ain't to shit on you. Again, it's just realizing the momentum of programming, indoctrination, passing on of certain beliefs, perceptual lenses, and ideas, which were often in division back at that point. But we're at a whole new state of consciousness now. Don't slow it down, because that won't benefit the entirety of humanity. This is, again, service to self or service to other. Are you here to benefit the entirety of humankind? Okay, cool. Start teaching them all about quantum physics. Start teaching them all about neurology. Oh, service to self, money. How many Lamborghinis? Okay, well, GG, game over. You've got choice. Have a good one.